Thank you for staying with us on the program. It's Politics Today on Channels Television. Don't forget that you can be part of the program. The handle there is at CTV Politics, and the hashtag is #PoliticsToday. And also, send an email to us.
Yes, indeed. Well, the discussion continues. We're talking about the anti-social media bill and so much agitation in the country. A lot of people thinking this is the government out to gag them. The National Assembly is out to gag them from expressing themselves. Well, to join in on the conversation, we're going to bring in another perspective. We have Senator Obiodun Olujimi. Let her join us in this conversation and throw more light from the perspective of the National Assembly.
I guess where we're having issues bringing her onto the conversation. Well, let's return to our Abuja studio where the commissioner at the Law Reform Commission, Mr. Chibuze Okori, is still with us on the program. Thank you so much for staying with us. You've heard some of the things that Yemi said earlier on the program about the perspectives and the understanding. It seems there is a disconnect with what the National Assembly or the senators are saying or the lawmakers are saying and what exactly is being perceived on this other side of the public.
Yeah, well, I think this... We need to make this point that there are three aspects of this bill, as I said. Now, there's merit in some of the issues. For example, at the public hearing, some scenarios were painted. Certain publications, false publications, maybe at the eve of an election, somebody makes a false publication saying a contestant has stepped down. To what extent will this sort of publication affect him if it turns out to be false? And it was agreed that there's need to have a law regulating such a situation. But the suggestion is that this is not the appropriate bill to deal with that. This is an election matter. And we have an electoral act which could be amended to make provision for such events. So the Electoral Act already provides punishment for certain acts relating to election generally. And that could be included, by way of amendment of the Electoral Act. Mr. The only aspect that I think that everyone is agreed is that, first of all, the first part of this bill, which makes reporting of crime in Nigeria dependent on affidavit, procuring an affidavit from a court, is a disincentive to making reports to law enforcement agencies and should not be encouraged in today's Nigeria where the government is encouraging people to make reports to ensure that corruption is kept in check. The third aspect of the bill, which deals with social media, prohibition of abusive and false inciting statements on social media. Again, people agree that this would essentially fetter the rights of people to privacy and to expression. Because what it means, therefore, is that you will keep under check, under constant monitoring, people's interactions. In social media, WhatsApp, text messages. And we think that this is not, it's not a cost that government should embark on at this time. Government should not spend money checking the private exchange of citizens. And it's to that extent that most people also agreed that this particular bill, which tends to prohibit abusive or false statements on social media, is not right at this time. Especially bearing in mind the fact that there are remedies, civil remedies available to whoever may feel aggrieved. If somebody has published something that is false, because the whole thing borders on falsity of a publication. If the publication is not false in the first place, then there's no cause of action. So if there's a false publication against anybody, there are remedies already available in law.
All right, Mr. Sasson, do you think the National Assembly or the sponsors of this bill, or the sponsor as the case is, have a hidden agenda? Maybe perhaps they do not want the spotlight on some shady dealings that go down and therefore do not want scrutiny in the public space, the social media?
No, I wouldn't say that. Actually, I wouldn't say that at all. Actually, at the public hearing, most of the senators present agreed that the social media has a lot of advantage today in Nigeria. And the whole idea of this bill is not actually to censor, in their view, it's not actually to censor social media, but to deal with excessive, or should I say misuse of the social media. But we feel that weighing the misuse of social media against the right of individuals to ventilate, I think that the advantage of allowing citizens to ventilate far outweighs that of censoring people who may exceed their right of expression.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Chibueze Okore, the Commissioner at the Law Reform Commission in Nigeria. Many thanks for coming on the program. Well, we'll be getting to round up the program now. The conversation, of course, will continue on the issue of the usage, the regulation or monitoring, as a case may be, of the social media. What we say on the issue. But before we go, let's bring you up to speed with some of the things happening other nation's capital in Abuja. We've been talking to you about the People's Democratic Party meeting, organ meeting. Today, the NEC meeting is going on, and there is a communique sent on the issues raised at that meeting, issues relating to the approval of timetable, issues relating to what the party feels about some of the issues happening in the polity as emerged in today's meeting. Well, that's how far we can go on the program. Thank you for being part of the show today.
Well, thank you for staying with us. I'm Imana Amawe.
Bye for now.